Just listen to that. The dawn chorus is beautiful this morning. Good morning and welcome to Pitfor Lake in Aberdeenshire. I've not been here for photography since November last year when I was greeted to one of the most beautiful sunsets I have photographed for years. Now unfortunately we're not going to get a beautiful sunrise this morning because the sky is pretty clear. But because I had such a good time here last year, I thought I'd come back and try it out for sunrise. I have been here for sunrise in the winter, but never the summer. And in fact, I don't think I've ever done photography here in the summer months. So it'll be interesting to see what I find here this morning in terms of interesting foreground interest and all that for my photographs. And because we're so early in the morning, I've got this whole place to myself, which is so beautiful. And as you saw a minute ago, the dawn chorus this morning is so incredibly loud, but very, very beautiful. I've just seen my first osprey of the year. I could hear it calling from the trees over here and then it's just flown out over the loch. A dream of mine has always been to see an osprey fishing, and if I saw that this morning I'd be incredibly happy. The wildlife this morning is just incredible. Not only have I just seen my first osprey of the year, but I've just seen the first dipper that I've seen for about 3 years, which is just such a lovely, lovely thing to witness. Oh, it's so lovely to be out at this location so early in the morning when I've got it completely to myself. You know, during the day there's often loads of people walking and cycling around here. And just to be up early and to have all this wildlife around me and have it completely to myself, it's just beautiful. What I've been doing is I've been walking around the lakeside here, trying to find an interesting composition, and what's really standing out to me is all these rhododendrons and foxgloves that are sort of around the outside of the lake. And because these aren't here during, you know, autumn, winter and spring, I'm trying to find a composition of some sort that I can work with that will allow me to have the beautiful colours of these plants beside the lakeside, because I like to photograph things that aren't there all year round. So, you know, for example, if I'm photographing in autumn, you know, obviously you want to optimise the autumn leaves, the fungi and all that kind of stuff. If you're photographing in the winter, I like to optimise the frost. And then in summer months it's nice to come and find nice colourful plants like this that, like I say, aren't here the majority of the year, and just try and get an interesting photo using them, because that's when you're going to get those unique images, when you're photographing things in the landscape that aren't there all year round. So it's proving quite difficult to find a composition that's going to incorporate all of this with the lake, but because we're not going to get really nice sunrise colours this morning, I'm not focusing too much on finding one composition in the landscape. I'm trying to find those unique images that you know, you don't get all year round. So let's see what I can come up with. The the last sort of 10 minutes I've been hand holding my camera with my polarizer on, and I've been going back and forward along this small strip of rhododendrons here, and I've been putting my camera really high up in the air and swapping it from portrait to landscape orientation, and I'm trying to get a composition where the bushes here and the flowers are sort of causing a natural frame around the loch and the scene behind me, and especially those sort of jetty bits that go out into the water, because that's kind of like the sort of famous photographs that you can take at this loch side here, or lakeside should I say, because it's actually called Pitfor Lake, which is unusual for Scotland. But like I say, because these plants aren't here all year round, I'm trying to photograph that iconic shot, but with something a little bit more unique. And often when you talk about landscape photography, a lot of people talk about using tripods all the time so that you get crisp and sharp images. But if you watched my video about the Z6 last week, you will have seen that this camera does incredibly well in low light conditions. So what I've done is I've bumped my ISO up, which is allowing me to get a faster shutter speed, and it's allowing me to take handheld shots here of the beautiful flowers framing the famous jetties going out into the lakeside, and it's allowing me to also get angles that I wouldn't be able to get with a tripod. For instance, I'm holding the camera really high above my head, which is allowing me to get a completely different viewpoint, but it's far too high for my tripod to reach, so it's giving me that more of that flexibility. And because this camera does so well in high ISO values without causing the image to be too grainy, it's giving me that opportunity to get something a little bit different, which is really exciting actually, because if I did the same thing with my older DSLR, this would have been a very challenging image to get, or the image would have appeared very grainy in the end. I've taken about 5 different images here. I'm not 100% happy with any of them because I can't quite frame the jetty bang in the middle of a sort of the flowers, but it's a nice challenge for this time of the morning and something a little bit different, which is always an exciting thing to try in photography, trying different things and opening your eyes up to different opportunities. And I don't know if I said, but I'm using a polarizer, which is allowing me to really bring out those saturations and colours in the flowers, which is just beautiful. The sun has now risen behind me, and as you can probably see, it's a very bland sunrise this morning. And what I mean by that is, before the sun rose, there was no clouds in the sky, so there was no colour at all with that pre-sunrise light. And now that the sun has come up, I was kind of hoping to get a nice golden sunrise with it being clear skies that would have came over this loch and given me some nice golden light. But it's not happened. It's a very bright sunrise this morning, but I mean like the whole sky is washed out. There's very little colour and very little gold going over the landscape. There's a bit, but it's very subtle. Now in the past I would have been incredibly disappointed to have got out of bed at 3:30 in the morning and come down here for sunrise to be greeted with not very much. But because I am utilising what I have this morning and looking for things in the landscape that aren't always here, such as the flowers and everything around me and the colours, it's allowing me to get some more unique style images and really take something away from this morning. So just a little bit of a tip there: if you go out for sunrise or sunset and there's not much light or there's not the beautiful colours that you were hoping for, look for other unusual things in the landscape, and it will really open your eyes up to new opportunities and new things out there. And allow you to go home with images that you are happy with, even if you didn't get that spectacular colours and sky that you were hoping for. But at the end of the day, it's all about just enjoying being out. And I mean, I am, looking back at those photographs I've just taken, I am actually happy with them, despite saying I wasn't a minute ago. But I am really happy with them actually. And not only that, I've seen, like I say, my first osprey and dipper of the year, which is just such a lovely experience. To get out early, have somewhere like this to yourself, get some unique and interesting images, and just, it's so fulfilling. Seriously, get out for sunrise. You won't be disappointed. So although the sunrise light this morning may not be the best or most captivating for landscape photography, I mean, it's still nice, there's still the opportunity for some good photographs. What this subtle light in mornings like this does do is it gives you a really nice subtle backlight to objects within your scene. So what I've just been doing is I've put on my close-up lens by Nisi, and I've been zooming in to some of the grasses that have got the morning dew on the end of them, and some of the foxgloves and other sort of foliage along the lake's edge. And that's really been allowing me to get some interesting shots with the grasses backlit, focusing on the droplets of water. And because we've got the loch or lake in the background, it's giving me a nice clean palette in the background so that I can really focus in on these grasses and get sort of really nice images with that subtle light backlighting them, which is just something, again, a little bit different, something that I've never really done before, to be honest. I've just been using this lens so far for photographing bugs and stuff in my garden, and obviously I've done similar things with spider webs, but it's been really nice to come and get this subtle early morning glow on the scene around me, and being able to use that beautiful light and that soft light to illuminate these subject matters, and just to use this and try this out for a different style of photography. So I think this morning it's really been all about trying new things, trying to get something a little bit different, and really working with the light we've got, because it's a beautifully stunning morning. But you know, often this is a morning when photographers might be like, oh, I won't go out because there's no chance of beautiful colours or a really gorgeous sunrise. But to be out on a still calm morning like this, when it is clear skies and it's beautiful, there's so many opportunities out there. You sometimes just have to work a little bit harder, or really look at the more intricate details in the landscape to get the photographs. But that's what I've been doing this morning, and I have to say I've been thoroughly enjoying it. Thoroughly enjoying it. I just found this really nice spot here, and we've got the rhododendrons again reflecting on the loch side, and we had a swan here with her cygnets, and I thought it'd make a really nice image because you had the nice reflections here with the colours. Using a polarizer was allowing me to bring out the beautiful blues in that, in both the sky and the water. Nice reflections, and I would have had the mum and her cygnets on the other side. But I don't know if you can just see, she's just there. She started swimming towards me, was getting closer and closer and closer, and then started hissing at me, which was a little bit annoying because I was just standing there, you know, and she came to me. It obviously wasn't the other way around. But you know, if nature doesn't want you around, or nature does stuff like that, you've just got to accept it and move on. A bit of a shame, because it would have been a nice photograph, again a seasonal photograph with the beautiful colours and that reflecting on the lake with a mum and her cygnets on the other side. It would have been a nice summery shot, or springy summer shot, that you wouldn't get any other time of the year. But yeah, as she's right on the bank's edge now, I'm gonna move on. I took 1 or 2 images quickly before she came to me, but I don't think they're any good. But I'll show you them quickly now, just so that you get an idea of you know, what sort of image I had in mind, and what I maybe could have created if she hadn't have come over. Well, this morning has been great fun. I have to say though, the most memorable thing about this morning hasn't actually been the photography. Something very bizarre has just happened. I was walking along the side of the loch, just going my way around back sort of to where I am just now, and I just started hearing snoring, like really loud snoring. And I'm looking around me and I'm like, there's no tents, there's no obvious people around. The only thing I can see that could potentially have a human sleeping in it is one of these, you know, these massive white bags that you would get like a massive delivery of stones, chips, gravel delivered in. It's like rolled up sort of in the shape of a human, but not quite the shape of a human. It's too small to be the shape of a too small to have a human in it. So weird. And I'm like walking past and I'm like, where is this snoring coming from? And the only thing I can think of is either there is somebody in this bag sleeping, which is a bit bizarre because I did look at it for about 10 minutes and there's no movement, no going up and down like somebody breathing. I wasn't standing beside it staring at it, by the way. I was just looking at it from a distance because I'm looking around like, where on earth is this snoring coming from? And I've not been able to work it out. So either somebody is sleeping in that bag, but because I was at both sides of it and because I approached it before I heard the snoring, I'm pretty certain there isn't. So potentially somebody is sleeping in the field beside it. But I'm just really confused because I was literally standing around for like 10 minutes trying to work out where the snoring was coming from because there's no obvious place that somebody would be sleeping. If you don't get out early in the morning, you don't come across these weird and bizarre things. But yeah, this morning's been really, really fun. A lot of people say that summer's not the best time for landscape photography because of the weather conditions, and in some ways it's not, but I hope this morning's proved to you that you don't have to come outdoors to do, you know, stereotypical landscape photography. You can photograph the flowers and the foliage around you and try and capture things that aren't always there. That's the biggest tip I can give people when it comes to outdoor photography, is utilise the seasons and photograph the things that aren't always there, because that is where your unique images are going to come from, because you can only have all these flowers here in bloom over late spring, early summer, and then they're gone. You just got to utilise them and make the most of them while they're here, because that's where the unique images are going to come from. What a glorious way to start the morning though. As always, I want to say a huge thank you for watching. I hope you've taken something from this morning, even if it's just a chance to step back for 15 or 20 minutes and relax and unwind with me as I enjoy this gorgeous morning and send it all into your homes to enjoy too. I look forward, oh, exciting news actually before I say look forward to seeing you all again next time. We are allowed here in Scotland to create now extended households, so we can create a household with somebody who lives on their own. It's a way of combating loneliness basically, but I am going to be forming a household with somebody who lives back home, because we're allowed to travel as far as we want to see family and friends now. So I'm going to be going back to the Moray Coast tomorrow actually in real life, but Sunday in video terms, to visit family and friends, and as a result I will be out and about with my camera back home on the coastline that I love so much. So I'm going to be somewhere new in the next few videos, which I'm super excited for. I mean, not new for my channel, but new for this year because I've not been able to do anything there. So super excited for that. And yeah, I look forward to hopefully seeing you all again then. I don't know what to do about this snoring thing. Like, I'm so intrigued. Do I walk back round and see? No, I can't. Like, what if I don't know. What if somebody is sleeping in that bag? weird though. Or they're just sleeping in the middle of the field. I'm so intrigued right now. No, I'm gonna leave it and go home. Thank you for watching.